A little late tonight, so we're going to get started without him. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
I make a motion to accept it as written then.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Amy, quick question for you. The very first item on the list is 17 Nelson. It's withdrawn. Do we have to do anything special for that?
No.
The IDA.
The RDA?
Yeah, no.
Okay. That wasn't advertised, nothing like that?
Well, if anybody's here for it.
Is anybody here to discuss 17 Nelson? That has been withdrawn, so obviously we don't have to hear it. Okay, we're good. Is somebody here for Brown, 15 Ocean Avenue, York? Okay, I'm going to bring that right up now. On October 23rd, 2017, I want to make sure I'm doing the right one here. Yep. On October 23rd, 2017, during their 6:15 meeting at Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Mark P. Brown for a determination on the applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to rebuild an east side and rear deck property located at 15 Ocean Drive, Hummerock. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Well, come on up. You can pick the seat. Excellent. And tell us what you'd like to do.
Actually, this is an after-the-fact RDA because I got the permit and somehow it got by conservation and I started construction on the. I've never had to do this before. I'm not.
You didn't
not
come in,
as,
that's how it got by.
Well, no, but did you get a building permit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's right, that usually that is where they'll say you need to go,
But they don't always.
They don't
Yeah.
always say that.
I had no idea. They called me and said that the permit was ready, so the project is in progress and.
How far along? Well, first of all, tell us what you're doing.
All right, there are two decks on the it's a cottage.
Do we have a larger drawing than this?
I don't think
Okay.
so. That's it.
Everybody get a copy? You're going to understand it better than I do, actually. Go ahead, please.
There are two decks on the building, one on the east side. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you pull that microphone a little closer?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. We'll get straight.
There are two decks on the building, one on the east side. The one on the east side was literally constructed out of 2x4 on a concrete slab, on an existing concrete surface. So there were no footings required. I pulled the other one off.
On the east side, you're referring to the ocean side?
It is on the ocean side of this property, but this property is on a central part of the street. It's in the middle.
Right.
There are houses on the riverside, there are houses on the ocean side, both. So that deck frame, no footings were required. I'm just rebuilding a deck that's there, tore it off. The rear, the footings that were in existence were concrete insufficient. They were actually cinder block. They went into the ground about 18 inches. I could move them all with my foot, every one of them. They all had to be replaced, which we did replace with concrete, poured concrete, 12-inch footings, as I stated on the building permit application. I have not framed the back deck yet. And there was a small expansion on the rear that went about, it's about 3 feet closer, about 3.5 feet closer to the in the west, and then 1 foot closer in the southern direction. Neither of which are anywhere close to the property line. Several from on the south side, the properties are kind of close, but I'm sort of in their driveway a little more, in my customer's driveway a little more. It's not close to the property
Can I
line.
ask you one question?
Yes.
Right here. So basically, you replaced.
An
You
existing,
didn't make them larger.
I did
On the
make
front, on the front.
not the front. The front didn't get any larger, the rear got a little bit larger.
How much?
Approximately 16 by 3. It's not built yet, but the request was approximately 60 square feet.
Bigger?
Bigger.
Okay. As long as you're not encroaching.
No, this would be, am I picturing this right? This would be on the back side of the house, on the riverside.
On the riverside.
Okay. And, so you're putting lollies in or posts in?
I'm putting, I put concrete footings in the ground, and I'm putting 6x6 posts on top of them. The only obstacle I had on that side that affected my expansion was their septic tank. And I spoke with the Board of Health agent, had actually called me, and to ensure that I didn't, because I had the footings sort of drawn right against the septic tank. I didn't know exactly where it was until we did a little bit of exploring. We ended up holding them back closer to 6 inches away from the tank, as requested by her. So,
As long as she's happy.
yeah.
Amy, let me ask you, have you seen this site?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any particular comments for it at the moment?
No, I mean, it's on Barrier Beach.
Right, that's the reason he's here.
Right, the front quarter of the property's in the velocity zone, the back 3/4 in the A zone, and I think it qualifies for a -2
Okay.
termination.
Yeah.
So just to explain, since nobody told you that you had to come, it is a barrier beach, so virtually anything in that area of town has to come in here.
I now know that.
Okay.
And I'm actually looking into other things I'm about to move forward on, and I know
Well,
that
then come see
I'm-
us.
Come see us.
I know that I'm
Put
going to
the
be back
shovel in
here.
the ground.
All right. Any
I
questions?
have no questions.
Paul?
No questions.
Lisa?
Nothing.
Jen? Okay.
Okay.
I don't have anything else. Anybody from the audience have anything for this on 15 Ocean Drive?
I make a motion for -2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all good.
Thank you very much.
Negative is good.
Okay, I like negative then.
Negative, good.
I'll get
Not
this
often,
down.
but
Do you need, does
I'll
he need to
understand
post
some of this
anything
eventually.
from us at all?
No, but we'll have it signed and ready for you to pick up tomorrow.
Okay, I will actually be in there.
Yeah, so you'll want to stop by here and see Carol and pick up, it's okay? So you'll know everything's
Carol's
good.
waiting to see me on another matter. I'm learning a lot in a very short period of time.
And it's not just Hummerock, anything in, just have a check with us.
Anything on the South Shore.
Yeah, right, along the
It's
ocean.
either a pond, a wetland, a beach.
I've built a lot in the area, but not in this capacity, so it's,
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in.
thank you very much.
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Take care.
Bye now.
Somebody here for 35 Peggotty? Come on up, let me read a notice. On October 23rd, 2017, at the 6:15 PM meeting at Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Stephen and Maura White for a determination of the applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to build a deck on property located at 35 Peggotty Beach Road, Scituate. Butters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Want to state your name for the record, address, and tell us what's going on.
I'm working for the homeowner, I'm the contractor, Patrick Donnelly. What we're looking to do is, on the left side of the house, to build a set of stairs going up to the second floor. And then on top of that, coming off the side of it, there's a front porch now to build a deck on the second floor of the front porch. But we'll need to do some footings to do the stairs going up the left side of the house.
So this is a new deck?
Yeah, it's going to
Not
be,
replacing a deck, it's a new deck.
the stairs are new, and we're going to put a deck on top of, there's a first floor porch now, an enclosed porch. We're going to put a deck on top of that. But the
On the
footing,
roof.
correct. But the footings are for the side, for the
for
set
the
of stairs, yes.
Yeah, the stairs are gonna touch the ground.
Yes,
The other deck is up high.
Yes.
yes, yes. I was down there today.
Can you give us some detail on the footings, how they're going in, what size they are?
Yep, 4 feet deep, 12-inch concrete footings. It's all on the plans here, and
Yeah, he's got them.
questions?
I don't have any questions, unless Amy has a concern that I didn't see when I was down there.
Paul?
Yeah.
Questions?
No, looks good to me.
Lisa?
Looks fine.
Jennifer?
Okay, so in this case, they're here because it's, the entire site's in the velocity
Right.
zone 17.
Mhm.
And I would recommend, you know, based on the nature of the work, that it would fall into the -2 category
Yeah.
and -5.
2 and 5?
Yes, as it's conversion of lawn to a deck. Deck stairs,
The stairs.
Yeah.
That's it,
decking, yeah.
yeah.
So how much are we losing in terms of lawn? Should ask him.
How many, we're coming out 6 feet off the house. And then going back about 14 feet. Right up against, tight to the house, which right now is, we had some plantings and stuff there we removed, but
I'm sorry?
we had some shrubs, a little garden there we removed.
Typically, it would be nice if those could, is there any way those could be replaced once the work is done?
2 of them they were pretty much dead anyway, so. But some of the flowers we're gonna transplant.
Some of the front foundation shrubs, there's some things there I need to keep.
It's not a big loss of ground right now, but typically whenever we have a loss of area that would normally absorb moisture, we like to have it replaced, mitigated with some plantings of some sort or something to sort of make up for that loss.
Oh, I will. I've already enlisted some friends to come in that are great gardeners to help me get this the way my grandmother had it when she lived there.
Okay. It may be part of any orders that we would make that, you know, basically you will do that, just to make up for that.
Uh-huh.
Rich, before you
Yes,
vote, I
thank
just
you.
wanted to bring to your attention a letter that came in this morning from an abutter, Joseph Armstrong, 31 Peggy Beach Road, and I think you have a copy of it up there,
I did not see.
but it's
Frank, a little over.
in concerns with the abutter.
It was
notice.
emailed to all of us, I got
Okay.
a copy, I read it.
Right. For request for determination of applicability, Scituate does not require butter notification. So that's what he would.
Got it. And we will keep that in the record, but for the record, for, as you just said, for request for determination of applicability, that does not require a butter notification. When we get to notices of intent, that's a totally different story.
We did do the newspaper ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
As
did.
That would be, for an
You did
NOI, that
what
would
you
be to
want,
actually send a mailing to the abutters and notify them.
You know, but this is different. So anyways, I'm gonna make a motion for a -2 and a -5 on this project, as per the agent.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. You're all set to go.
Thank you very much.
Check in tomorrow at the office, I'll have details for it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice night. He's organized here now.
Okay.
Excuse me. Your mic's like turned.
I know it is. I have a very loud voice, believe me, they're hearing me. My voice carries.
Keep going. Somebody here for Pin Oak Drive, 10 Pin Oak.
That's been continued.
That has been continued.
How far out do you want to go, Amy?
November 6th?
Okay, wait a second. Pardon me? Oh, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Did you want to say something?
Kenny, I had put down 10 Pin Oak Drive, it was continued 11/13/17 at 6:15 PM on my papers.
Already do that?
To 11:30?
11/13? Unless I goofed last time, I put it in my,
Well, we don't have a meeting on 11:13.
You've already banged those out?
That complicates things a little bit.
You were doing something else. I make a motion, we continue,
Lisa, you just start without us.
at 6:25,
Second?
And what's the date?
November 6th. Somebody second it, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we did not cover anything up here.
Okay. Thank you. My apologies. These guys are just scheduling too many events in one day.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe 12 Revere
We're
Street.
actually
I
early for
don't think we
that.
can take them till
6:25.
6:25.
Okay. So, you want to do any certificates of compliance or orders?
Sure. So I'm going to recommend that we issue certificates of compliance for 2 Cairo Circle and for 308 Central Ave.
I don't remember
I may-
either one of those projects where.
Yeah, the 308 Central's at the split
Yes.
going up the hill to Hummerock.
Yep.
And that's a very old septic system.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept issue a certificate of compliance for 308 Central.
And 2 Cairo is also a very old system.
Yeah, we don't have to vote on those.
Okay.
Amy's just given us the
Yeah,
courtesy of her.
I know. Her expertise.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we also have, actually, we struck it, but now I think we might re-add 250 Gannett,
Okay.
which is another septic system, and I was hesitant on it because in the order, which was from 2009, I believe, it's, there's a special condition that says that a drainage pipe should be pulled back, because in this case, it exits to the marsh, on the marsh side, going down on the left on Gannett. But anyways, I spoke to the purchaser of the house, who got back to the engineer, who indicated that apparently at the time that the system was constructed, back in 2009 or 10, that they agreed, the agent at the time agreed that the pipe should stay. So, I don't know if any of you recall this.
2010? 2010?
2009.
2009,
That's about
2010,
before me.
yeah.
No, I was there, Frank was there.
I can show you the plan if you want.
Could you give me the name of the people on the,
Sure.
it might kick my brain.
David Squire,
Squire?
250 Gannett.
Doesn't ring a bell to me.
Doesn't ring a bell at all. On the marsh.
There's 2 structures that are set back. You really have to look for them when you drive by. It's 248 and 250. And then there's a garage, like on Gannett, but here.
It was,
Wilder? This is
Oh, that house. Okay,
Right.
it was Gil's house.
Yeah, that was in the family for a long time.
So, geez, I don't remember a septic there, I don't even.
Yeah, they
remember.
did.
Yeah, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah, it was just pretty limited to what they can do. They actually did a pretty good job. Just like,
Yeah, because they have that driveway going down, way down. and-
right, but there's the house, and then there's a building in back of the
Right,
house.
yeah.
And then there's an area back of that, and it's elevated a little bit, so there's a pump chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so the interceptor trench is to intercept shallow groundwater, and it's clean water, and it's exiting it
yep.
to the marsh side. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, I think.
No,
Right.
it was probably the only way we could do it. Without a pipe tank, and we are not.
False.
Okay.
That was the engineer's opinion, was that it needed to stay, so,
Yep.
so I'm good with that. You guys are good with
Okay.
Couldn't picture it, but I can now.
it. Okay, that'll make the
Thanks, Amy.
buyers and sellers very happy,
Good.
so.
Okay, so that one's good. All right.
And the minor activities for Flanagan at 171 Turner Road.
Move sand back to beach from under the house.
So there's just overwash from storms or?
Sandy, yes, very sandy sand.
How are they moving it back?
With a small bobcat.
Okay.
They have much choice in that
No,
area.
no,
It's
I'm
pretty tight
just
quarters.
Yeah, it is. It's really tight.
Yeah, we just issued one in the same area of Turner Road, same minor activities permit, so.
Well, put it back so the winter can bring it in again. There you go.
Right.
I'm just assuming this coastal advisory, there's not much.
Well, I mean, they met. I know my wife was there. I'm not on it anymore. I know the next meeting is the 14th.
Unfortunately, it was the same night as Concom.
Right,
so.
right. And I believe they got a chairman approved or elected and a vice chairman, and I couldn't tell you who they are. I'm sorry about that. But I know the next meeting is the 14th at 6 o'clock, and they're supposed to be done in time for people to go to town meeting if they want
It's going to
to.
be very quick. The chairman is in town. He works out of state a lot, so it's going to be a quick
Yep.
meeting.
That's the best I can tell you on that.
Okay. And beach committees, there's not much going on at the beaches right now.
No, they got a bunch of stuff coming in CPC, I'll let you
Right.
know. When I haven't reviewed any of those acts yet.
Peggotty Beach? Anything changed on that regard?
On Peggotty Beach? No. We haven't heard anything new. There's a minor activities permit that we issued for clearing emergency access
Right.
for the last two houses. It's probably like, I don't know, 6 inches of sand. He's
Sure.
just gonna kind of clean it up a
It's
little
always,
bit.
that's an ongoing thing in that area, just overwash.
Yeah, right, and then Gibbs wanted to do more sculpting of the dunes.
So you're talking in a harbor now?
Yeah,
Peggy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sarah
all right.
Hibbs,
Yeah.
yeah, Peggy.
Yeah.
But anyways, that has seemingly been, I guess, just settled for the matter. We have
Sure.
any time. I think she's not in town, as we recommended that she have an engineer provide oversight. She's gonna do more work out there.
Right.
And, yeah, we haven't heard anything, so stay tuned.
But I think that's the correct way to handle that, that they have, somebody's got to oversee that work, so it doesn't get out of hand, and they don't have this situation where they have people working in areas where they're not supposed to be, so. Great, thank you. I think we can go on with Kibbe. On October 23rd, 2017, at 6:15, at 6:25 PM, the Town Hall, Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Charles Kibbe to repair a septic system on property located at 12 Revere Street, Humrock. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Good evening. This is a relatively simple project. It's on a lot that runs between Revere Street and Post Strip Lane on the river side of River Street. And the existing septic tank is leaking, either due to a seam that was never sealed in the beginning, or some of the tanks years ago used to come with a hole in the bottom of them. And the contractor was supposed to fill them, but it didn't happen. And regardless, it's leaking, so it needs to be replaced in order to pass the Title V inspection. It's an existing 1,000-gallon tank, and it's being replaced with a 1,500-gallon tank to conform to the latest Title V regulations. The property is on coastal dune, Barrier Beach, and land subject to coastal storm flowage. It's in an AE flood zone elevation 13. The existing ground on the lot is between 7 and 8. The new septic tank will be located such that unless the water table changes, it will provide the proper clearance over the water table in the future if it needs a repair of the leaching facility. Try to answer any questions you have.
Do I have what?
A paper copy of that plan?
No, this is the only one I don't have a copy of.
Okay. You don't have a spare one, Amy?
I do.
Thank you. Did you get a chance to take a look at that, Amy?
I did.
All right.
Level site, obviously, I think it would be beneficial to upgrade the system.
Since it's leaking,
Yes. Win-win.
not good leaking.
Yeah, I mean, we do like to see some kind of a limit of work established out there, so the contractors know property limits, but I mean, in this case, the houses are pretty tight, so I don't think that there's gonna be much mistake about that. Although there's a pretty nice open backyard. Right,
Well,
Bob?
there's no reason for them to do anything other than excavate the hole and
Yeah, yeah.
collapse the other tank, or either that or take it out, one of the two.
Yeah, and if it's open, I don't think they're gonna be disturbing trees or anything like that. So, good.
Have you been to Board of Health yet?
I mean,
Have you been to Board of Health?
it has been submitted.
Oh, okay, so it isn't approved yet. No.
Richard?
I have nothing else.
No questions.
Lisa?
No questions?
Ken? Okay, anybody in the audience?
So how do you want to close this? Subject to Board of Health approval?
I would say, seems pretty straightforward. I can't imagine this is going to be a big deal.
No. Okay. I make a motion that we close and issue orders subject to Board of Health approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you. Hadley Country Club, 667 Hadley Road, septic, and they've requested a continuance,
Did they say how long, Carol?
it says November 20th.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Just before we start making
Yes,
continuances,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys discussed it before I got
No,
here,
we didn't.
but
You're right.
I don't think I'll be here on November 20th. Any thoughts on your schedule, Paul?
That's a Monday, I'll be here.
All right. We just have to be careful of quorums and things like that, so.
Well, it's going to come up again later when we get to Toll Brothers, which is going to be continued, but next meeting, I think we're both good.
Yep.
Then you're gone for a meeting, and then I'm going to be gone for a meeting.
Right.
So that, I think we're going to have to
That's
let
the
Toll
one-
Brothers know that there's going to be
You're out
some,
before.
yes, that's correct.
Right.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll
I
just,
think Toll Brothers is the only one where we're under that kind of gun.
Yeah.
And they're gonna wanna come in when we have the proper, I think they're kind of waiting on.
Well, we've been waiting almost 10 weeks now for them.
No, well, that's what I'm
Which is
saying.
okay.
But they're-
their attorney's in the room, we'll find out
Yeah.
when they get here.
Okay,
So,
but we know we have to have
we have to just
who
be
we started with
cognizant
at
of
all
those
these meetings.
pieces,
Yes,
right?
that's what we.
Do we even know who that is?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Jim.
Okay,
All right, can I make a motion now?
knock yourself out.
Okay. I make a motion that we continue having the country club to November 20th at 6:15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Turcot, 61 Seaside Road, raise and rebuild. Well, actually, I should have read, my apologies, I should have read
Oh,
Hadley
you
Country
gotta open
Club.
it.
Yep.
6:45.
All right, well, let me read
We'll read it now.
Hadley. On October 23rd, of 2017, at 6:35 PM, the Town Hall, Situate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Situate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Hadley Country Club to repair a septic system on property located at 667 Hadley Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. And we've already voted to continue that.
Yes.
20th November at 6:15.
Great. Thank you.
But now we do have to wait.
Yes.
Okay. So,
We do orders or conditions.
sure. Some orders of conditions, Llewellyn at 8 Hawthorne Street.
I make a motion to accept and it's written.
Wait.
It's still not approved.
By Board of Health. All right.
So we can't accept them.
So I think we need to hold off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have Board of Health. Sorry, people.
Unless we have an order, could we have an order in there?
We have an order listed on the list.
No, I mean, in the orders themselves, that say,
Subject to Board of Health.
approval.
I didn't see it. Would it be on the end of it?
no, I said we could add it if it's
Oh.
not there.
I don't remember that
Well,
system.
they can't do anything until they get Board of Health.
They
And
get a
it's
big
not, so
yard.
they're gonna put the shovel in the
Yeah.
ground tomorrow.
But it could wait, they could be stuck for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if, I don't know if it's an urgent,
I don't know either.
I don't know the urgency either, but I just know that if we approve it without the revised plan date, then that's not going to be in the order.
sure. All right,
But I mean, I think you
We
could
did
go
get a
either way,
revised plan, though.
Yeah.
but that revised plan has been accepted,
Right,
so it's
You
making
could
progress.
close like the last one, subject to Board of Health.
yeah.
Well, we
Well,
closed.
we already closed
Well, I
it.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, vote on the orders subject to Board of Health.
I don't have a
I
problem
don't
doing it.
think Andy wants us to.
No, I think you can do that.
We've done that
Oh.
before.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I thought.
You just
said
did it.
Said
something
it could
about
go
the
either way.
plan. Okay,
That's the risk.
that's fine.
But we've already closed the hearing anyway, so,
right,
go ahead.
so, yeah.
I make a motion that we accept the orders of condition and put in one more condition, the acceptance by Board of Health.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Town of Scituate, DPW, McCarthy, Oceanside Drive, 7th through 10th, 116 feet of lineal seawall.
I make a motion to accept those conditions as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tornetta, 2 Atlantic Drive, relocate snow fence.
That's an amendment. I make a motion we accept those as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Have you seen them?
Huh?
Have you seen them?
Yeah, we saw them at the last,
No.
oh, the plans.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you?
no.
Oh. Don't worry about it. Richard did too.
Yeah.
And we're good with them?
Yeah.
Okay, good, as
Yeah.
long as some of us have.
DePisa, 537 Hadley Road, raise and rebuild.
I make a motion to accept those as written.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Right.
Interesting.
Chesley, so wait a minute, we got,
We can't do those because we haven't closed yet. We were waiting for Board of
right,
Health. So when they come up, we can close and do the orders at the same time.
okay.
Fine.
Do we want to go on to access and parking, Frank? And then
Sure.
Outstanding enforcements if we have time,
Yep.
or minutes.
Penny, why don't you fill us
Oh,
in?
we had lots of fun, but we're still in the same spot. We went to the selectmen last week. In the end, they're all set. One still questions the price. I question the price, but it's what it costs to do business today. And then we did go to the advisory board, and that we got their support. So we're just waiting now. We got a few things to do to get ready for town meeting. And then the way I'm looking at it, I've done everything possible, Frank and I, to get this prepared and ready, and it's up to the town. And if the town people want the parking, then it will go forward. So that's really about it.
I think getting the word out, there's a,
Yeah, I've been emailing people myself.
to anybody that's attending town meeting that look for support for these parking and access projects. It's something that we're really,
Because that vote
Very
is
much
what's
in need
going to
of.
carry it.
right, there's also, the Disabilities Commission is going to have a workshop on November 4th at the community building in the harbor from 11 to 2.
11 to 2, yeah.
And they're going to be talking about various ways that we could help folks with some of those issues. And if anybody's got any interest in attending, we're going to try to incorporate some of the pieces that they're recommending in our trails and in our access points and walkways and things like that. So it's been beneficial meeting with them, and we're going to try to have some support for that, and then vice versa. They're going to have input on our pieces. So hopefully these new access areas and parking areas are going to be beneficial to everybody.
Where are these? Sorry, I don't know.
So,
Yeah, what?
Well, I just didn't know the background of it. Where is this?
so right now, we're trying to get access roads and parking into some of the property that was acquired with CPC funds over the years.
Okay.
So starting, all of these are in the West End. There's a piece of property called Higgins McAllister, and Hollycrest Road is a small dirt road that's off of Booth Hill, and it abuts open space that the town has, and would like to create a small parking area there. The next one would be, the Damon property is on Clap Road, on the south side of Clap Road, and it's a piece of open space that was acquired now probably 4 or 5 years ago. And there's a small road that goes in there, but there's really no parking or any way for folks to get in there. So that'll be an access road with another 8, 10 spaces.
No, there's 11 spaces that everyone,
And all these parking areas will include
handicap.
handicap spot, they'll be gated, there'll be signage, and then Higgins McAllister starts at a fairly steep incline and goes down to a brook, so we're not looking to put any additional, this trail work that's being done by some of our volunteers, but it wouldn't be an accessible trail. At Damon, it's a fairly flat area, and it goes into some nice cart paths, and so that's a location that we hope to add
200 feet.
of
By
a
5.
high-pack, 5-foot wide trail that people with some mobility issues could use, maybe get back to a little picnic area or something like that. Then the next one going down Clap Road is off Bates Lane, and Bates Lane is sort of the core of our open space. And Bates Lane is sort of a quasi-public road, and so probably 300 feet in on Bates Lane.
Oh, from Bates Lane.
From Clap
no,
Road?
It's more than that. It's quite a distance in.
There'll be a parking area created off of Bates Lane. And then, right on Bates Lane, we're also gonna do a few hundred feet of a hard pack road that will take you to some splits in the trail and another little grove and picnic areas. And then the final one, which is really expensive, is access to the Crosby and Appleton parcels. And they're a little further west on Clap Road and on the south side. When we acquired the Appleton field, there was a cart path that went into that, but it was pretty limited in use. When the Crosby family agreed to sell the town their property for open space with the stipulation that we create a new access road and not use their driveway and this cart path. So we agreed to that, but it's pretty extensive work. We have to cross the wetlands, and then we have to go back into the woods, so it's involved. There has to be mitigation, wetlands replication, and then, but what will afford us is some really nice access to both the Appleton piece that was purchased before which is a farm area, and depending on what we decide as a commission later on, whether we want a commercial farmer to use it, or whether we want it to be a town kind of farming operation. And then there's also access to these trails, and there's some wonderful cart paths and paths that are already out there, and with some improvement, it'll make a great network. But that's a very expensive proposition. It's 300.
That's the stumbling block. It's 310,000 for that one.
Yeah,
But it's the wetlands crossing is very costly.
and it's very long. It goes,
And it's very long, and the replication, and there's absolutely no way around it.
Right.
And, it
No,
was-
ultimately, you're either gonna have access or you're not. The price is not gonna go down.
That's right.
It sure isn't gonna go
Right.
down. And if you go on the CPC website, full application is there with description with maps. So if you'd like to see that, you know, it's on there.
and as long as we're discussing this, and we'll jump back to these pieces, so the next piece that we're also looking for funding for is mapping and layout of our trails, and that's the folks that have been helping for years do maintenance on the trails, and now they've stepped it up, and we're gonna use someone to map out our trail system, get that laid out. There'll be paper maps, electronic maps, people will be able to pull that stuff up much easier, and I've got to get you introduced to Marla. She just got back from her vacation, so we'll do that. Because that'll be a nice piece to this, the two things going together, and hopefully folks will be able to really enjoy this and understand more where all those pieces are. And there's also a component, there's some money in there for crossing some wetlands areas, some boardwalks and bridge and things, so there's a lot to it. And there'll be two important articles for us, but hopefully town meeting will agree.
Yes, we are looking for support at town meeting. Anyone that is in favor of this out in the audience, please come to town meeting. It will be a wonderful project completed, but all this land that we have bought with CPC funds since 2003, we've been acquiring, so now it's time to get the parking, the access, have a complete project.
So, great, that's the spiel. So, Town of Scituate, DPW, 26 and 32 Gardner Road, drainage easement. And that's a request for continuance. I can tell you that we were here for a couple hours this afternoon.
Did we do Turca?
No, we didn't. He just went to them.
My apologies.
We
Well, I'll
got
finish up with that one and then we'll bounce back. How's
Okay.
that?
All right,
So,
how long out? Was it a good meeting?
There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do, so a month?
Did they give us a date?
No, there was just, there's gonna be a wetlands person get out, delineate the wetlands, then there's gotta be some design work done.
So this will take some time.
I'd be surprised if it got done by the 6th. We could,
Go for the 20th.
yeah,
Okay, so I'll put them out to the 20th,
okay.
11/20. Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue Scituate DPW 2632 Gardner Road to 11/20 and 6/20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On October 23rd, 6:40,
20 or 12:20?
11:20.
11/20, just a month, and we can always keep continuing.
on October 23rd, 2017, at 6:45 PM in the Town Hall, Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetland hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Paul Turcott to raise and rebuild a dwelling on property located at 61 Seaside Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Good evening. Attorney Jeff DeLisi, this was Paul's filing, and our clients, Paul and Bonnie Turcott, are with us today.
Evening.
So Paul and I were planning on doing the hearing together. Paul called me as you were discussing your last matter. He got here and realized he picked up the incorrect file. So he was gonna go back and then come back, and I said, if you make it back, you make it back.
Does
If
he have
not,
the green cards with him?
he does, yeah. So that's,
Open without them.
yeah, so,
Can we just hold back for a little bit?
yeah, absolutely.
Let him,
Yep,
And we'll continue without them.
great,
all right.
thanks.
Well, we did, okay, so Chesley at 16 Tristing Place. Good evening.
I don't have anything with me. I've been coordinating with, electronically with both Carol and the Board of Health, and the Board, I believe the Board of Health has already approved these. Both 16 and 21, I think they were only.
So, didn't they, Amy?
I know 21 is approved.
I
No,
think
yeah, they both are.
They were both
Yes,
approved,
they're
yeah.
both approved.
And I think that was all we were looking for.
Yes.
was.
Yes, it
Was-
was. So I'll make a motion to close 16.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah, we still gotta hang back on that one.
We're going too fast. We're just going.
It's this great time system we
This doesn't
have.
happen. We're usually hours behind.
Something will foul up.
I know. All right, we can't do it now.
We gotta wait 5 minutes about outstanding enforcements.
So, for outstanding enforcement orders, Pat was good enough to give me a little update on where
Oh,
we
he left?
stand, huh?
Pat didn't stay. I just noticed he's gone.
We'll let him know it took you an hour to realize
I
that.
know. Oh,
Which really missed.
Yeah. So,
Long day.
yeah.
okay.
So 24 Webster Street is in litigation. 28 Gardner Road, you just voted. We had a
Yeah.
lengthy meeting this afternoon, hopefully with a little progress. They've got to delineate the wetlands. Our person does, the applicant's already done that. Then there's still the question of where exactly is this drainage going to take place?
So we're still meshed together with DPW?
Well, it's two components. There's
I know.
our enforcement order
Yes.
for the clearing and alteration that the property owner made.
Right.
But at the same time, when that was done, it was uncovered that there's a piece of drainage that's not
Yeah.
in the right place. And so they're trying to get together. But we're trying to keep it a little bit separate. But ultimately, they're gonna wind up getting resolved along the same.
Okay, so we're just gonna sit tight on that.
Well, the idea is that hopefully there'll be some additional wetlands information, and then with that, they can do a design and see if that's gonna proceed.
So who are we having going out there for our wetlands person?
I think Pat was gonna talk to Lucas. He's the one that he had started with before. See if we can at least get that piece off the ground.
Yeah, no,
All right.
I'm just curious.
And then it'll be up to the DPW to decide if they're gonna submit a plan that they might have to deviate from the, don't forget, there's already a filing on this as well for
I know
that drainage.
Yeah, yeah.
But whether it stays in the same spot, or there's gonna have to be a new filing depending on where that gets located. It's not simple.
No, it isn't simple. It's been ongoing for years.
Zero Rear Driftway, a letter was sent out 10/23. I wish I could tell you a little bit more about that one, but I don't know.
Is that Russo property?
Yes. Carol, do you know anything else, or Amy, have you heard anything on that?
No, I don't really know much about that one.
Okay.
Just that he hasn't heard from the lawyers, and they said they'd get back to him.
We met with them in the spring, the lawyers, and I thought it was gonna start to move, but I guess it hasn't.
I think that's one, if you're talking to Pat, you could get a little more update on who's stalling or who needs to be pushed, or,
Because Pat, Frank, and I met with them back in the spring.
31 Candlewood.
There's a letter going out tomorrow.
Okay. I don't think he's done anything else there at this point,
I don't know.
No,
that we are aware of.
not since Frank, you and I were out there
Right.
a few weeks ago.
So,
So-
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he has his boundaries established, he knows. But so now it's gonna be up to him to hire the wetland specialist to
But the
come up with
boundaries
a planting plan. So, I mean, he's been waiting for direction from us, which he'll be getting, so.
But do we know what the property line is?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's what we thought it was.
Mr. Marabito's back, so we can,
He just saw him, he's, here he comes.
All your own.
as long as you got some green cards with you and you got the right plan.
What's that?
Huh?
You got green cards with you?
They got white ones?
I want green. Green, white cards, okay. White, green cards?
There's two of them on there. What the heck? This one? No.
What's that?
That guy was waiting for it's just a shame, because they just bought it out.
Oh. So I did read this. Do I have to read it again?
No, I would
If you read it, it's on the record.
Paul doesn't.
Mr. DeLisi explained your situation.
Which one?
Well,
Yeah, would be more specific.
We'll leave it at that.
You don't know
situation.
what they were told. They're taken care of. Just to give you guys a background, Jeff DeLisi, Paul Marabito, 61 Seaside Road, I believe is the address. I welcome Jen to the commission. It's good to see a new face and some gender equality on the board.
Oh, you're really.
We love you.
Anyway, this is, I think, about as straightforward as it gets with the raise and reconstruct. The house is, Paul will explain, but it's below the FEMA elevation. It's a raise and reconstruct, straight up on piles. I did a little calculation. I think it's not on Paul's plan, but the footprint, for what it's worth, is increasing from 1,291 square feet to 1,472 square feet. So, pretty conservative plan. So, Paul?
The locus is comprised.
If there's anybody here that has an interest in this and can't see the plan, please,
Come over this side.
can you shift over this way a little bit?
Oh, have them move.
There you go.
Can you move it back a little too, Paul, so?
Yeah. Can you do this? Can you do that?
We need a new room.
Well.
We need to put it on the
boards
wall.
on the wall.
The site contains a total of 20,430 square feet. The perimeter of the lot is outlined in yellow. This is a scale of 1 inch equals 10 feet. And there's several resource areas here. The FEMA flood zone is at the southern end of the site. It crosses Egypt Ave. It's in zone DE 16, and the site itself is in zone DE elevation 17. There's also an existing pond on the property, one of the chain ponds, with the southerly end. There's also a small amount of upland in this area. This is a coastal dune from here all the way to Seaside Road. That was identified by Brad Holmes. There are some wetlands associated with the pond. They show the 50 and 100-foot buffer zone through those wetlands. The existing house is up on Seaside Road. The existing house is a reinforced concrete foundation. It's a fairly thick wall. The plan is to totally remove that, elevate the house on piles. The top of the piles would be 19.2, which is about 7 to 9 feet above the ground. There are no changes in the ground. The surface of the ground is essentially rocks from the coastal dune and the overwash. So there's no change in the grade. The access to the site is now a way called Driftwood Lane. They come into the site through an easement, which is needed for the property, and they would park in front of the house. The site, the house is serviced now and will be serviced by town sewer and water and gas. As Jeff said, we did go to the Board of Appeals last week, and the project was approved. The footprint of the house has an increase of approximately 14%, and there's an increase in impervious area of 8.8%, which is under the 25% threshold for the stormwater bylaw. We did submit a structural pile foundation plan. These will be on wood-driven piles as well. We showed silts out on the perimeter of the roof area. There's also open decks on three sides of the house, plus a covered porch on the ocean side. So with that, I'll answer the questions you have.
Penny, I know you couldn't see that, but what are your thoughts?
I was just curious, and I did watch the zoning, and I know it is a zoning issue, but how was it resolved, the staircase that comes down into the paper street off the property?
The zoning decision has not yet been filed,
Okay.
all right? But it's going to be drafted such that, just to give everybody an understanding of what we're talking about, Samoset Avenue is a paper street. It's never been constructed. It only exists on this plan pretty much. And so the house was designed such that steps were coming off of the porch area, and those steps for egress protruded into the paper street. And one of the zoning members asked about that and whether the zoning board could actually grant relief with steps within a paper street because it's not on the property line itself. By virtue of what's called the derelict fee statute in the state of Massachusetts, the owner of the property actually, even though their property is delineated to be not including Samoset Ave, because it's bound by Samoset Ave, they're deemed to own to the midpoint of the road, subject to the rights of others to pass and repass. It's a legal issue.
Yeah.
Bottom line
We've heard it
is,
before.
the house, say again?
We've heard it before.
Legal
I would
issue.
imagine, I was shocked ZBA hadn't, this board at least.
Huh.
So anyway, maybe someone was messing with me, but the plan will be changed in a fairly de minimis way to reflect that steps will not be going into Samoset Ave. And I'll fashion the zoning decision in such a manner that will reflect that. And that's really the way it's gonna roll. So what you have here is a plan that's gonna slightly change in a manner that really doesn't affect this commission at all. But,
I was just curious because I was watching it, but I couldn't get to the end.
yeah, so it basically was approved with the concept that,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
did.
And, you know, I suppose that, well, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Richard
I don't have any other questions right now.
doesn't?
No questions.
Lisa?
No, I don't have anything.
Jen? Amy?
Don't have anything either.
Anybody in the audience like to speak to this? Yes, sir.
We live next door.
And you just want to state your name and address?
Don Green, 63 Seaside Road. Seaside Road.
Yep.
We live next door. I think it's a great thing. The house is it's an older house. We'd like to see it. You know, it's the only house that's in the whole vicinity that isn't on fire.
Yeah.
Every one of us has been wiped out. And the house should be on piles.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr.
The only
Crane.
one. You know, so
Might be the last one.
it's an asset. And, we're all for it.
Thank you.
Good.
Anybody else? And there's really no, other than removing the foundation, regrading the lot?
We haven't even done it. If the lot doesn't need to be regraded.
Well, I mean, if you remove the foundation, obviously you've got some smoothing out to do, and then,
What kind of property is this?
Wood, he said wood.
Well,
No, he did say that.
it's wood, right? Yeah, thank you.
Paul, how about the breaks in the silt sock, or just to allow for access for the equipment and whatnot, as opposed to being continuous?
The
This
breaks
sort of-
in the silt
The
sock.
breaks in the silt sock, like why they're not,
It's just a symbol we use, so it's a heavy, thick line.
yeah, but I'm seeing like an end, this, it is an open end,
It's open, in the front here, so the vehicles can go back and forth.
yep.
There's also access to this house.
Oh, I see, it's a driveway, yeah, yeah,
That's the driveway.
thank you.
You can kind of see it on here a little bit. I did this for ZBA, but that makes sense. Yeah, I know, you guys. I thought Paul was gonna cover it tonight.
He didn't get fancy for us.
Paper Street.
He knew
Paper Street.
that we'd stepped up our game, so we didn't think we had to.
The green is Paper Street, the purple is the pond, the yellow is the lot, the access is the pink. And so, so it kind of goes like that across to this house over here.
Got it?
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. No other comments or questions? I'll,
Make a motion to close.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
very much.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks for adding a little color to our meeting, Mr. Felici.
Hey, you know,
Literally in your plan.
your board, your commission just got much smarter, so.
There we go.
Wow.
Put it out.
Yeah,
Are you leaving or
Don't
staying?
forget that, Frank.
yeah. So,
he wanted-
yes, sir.
Going back to the trails in Scituate.
Yep.
I
For that
always
COC
thought there
on
was
Kenner
some
Road.
kind
You
of
see
a
my email?
conversation a number of years ago about making a little bridge in some way across the old railroad bridge to be able to walk out to the North River.
We would love to have that. We would love to see that happen. So it's a project that started
Yeah.
and then sort of got
Stop.
derailed. But we've had discussion about that, and we're going to try to come back to that. It is. It's a piece of land that the town of Scituate owns. It's a piece of land that the town of all the people in the town of Scituate own that railroad bed right to the North River, and it's absolutely breathtaking. And I think a lot of people would enjoy that if they could get out there. That bridge, unfortunately, is a fairly complicated matter. You're going across a navigable way, and there's,
Yeah, I think there's somebody that
there's,
goes into the creek with a small boat
we've got to
or
work,
whatever.
we've got to work
Have to
through
be
that.
Some kind of a,
Yeah, but we did do some borings and things, and then we did some testing and talked about some preliminary plans, and we hope to circle back to that one. We're gonna get a couple of these other ones out of the way, and hopefully by next year, we'll be addressing the Driftway Park again, and then that'll be part of our looking at the Driftway. So, I appreciate your interest in it.
yep, I want it. I'd love you can walk or ride bicycles out there.
Wouldn't it be?
Well-
Walk your dog or.
Yeah.
When we want support for that, we're gonna go to you. All right? Thank,
Yeah, we do. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Chesley, 16 Tristing Place, septic repair continued.
With that, the Board of Health, which they have the Board of Health approval.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we close Tristing and issue the orders.
You're talking 16 Tristan, correct?
Amy, are you good with that?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
While you're sitting
Can we
right
do-
there, we can do the other one. Valvey at 21 Tristing Place, septic repair continued.
You want to make a motion to,
Is there anybody in the room for either one of these that has any comment?
21, interesting.
You've jumped down to 21.
I did,
It's past
because
this
Okay,
weekend.
and that we
Mr.
were
James
waiting
is
for the
sitting
Board of
there.
Health, yes. Okay, so I make a motion to close.
Right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great,
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Have a good night.
I'm
Toll,
gonna issue the orders now.
oh,
I make a motion to issue the orders for 16 and 21 Tristing,
Okay, second.
as written. They were
Second.
both
All in favor?
straightforward.
Aye.
great.
Okay.
You happy?
I'm very happy now it's completed. I like to complete projects.
There you go. Penny's on a roll. All
Oh,
right, Toll Brothers, Hadley Road, 142 units, 10 townhouses, and they've requested a continuance.
how far out?
So that's,
To 11/6.
11/6 we can
meeting?
do.
Wow, okay.
okay. And what will the discussion be? Where are we going with that at the next, what are we can,
Well, we're continuing it, so we're not really talking about the project.
right, but I mean, what's the next, any idea? I just want to
We're
be,
waiting for receipt of documents and peer review.
okay.
But the word on the street is that they are making some progress with planning.
So will we have some information? I guess my point is that we have some information ahead of time,
I requested, we will, I mean, our deadline.
either from the
for-
applicant or from
Yeah,
our
I-
consultant, who's ever supposed to do it, it would be good. It's a complex
Right.
project.
Right, I agree. And some time has gone by since they've been in.
And I know they've been at planning, and I know there's other things.
Right.
There's a lot of moving pieces, I get that. So I'm not being critical, I'm just trying to figure out how, what,
Well, we requested the toll team, actually the legal representation for perhaps just a summary status of where they stand.
kind of why I'm asking this question, yeah.
Right, so that way we could be filled in on where they are in the process, but until there's substantive new documentation with peer review, that's probably what they're gonna be waiting to come back to us for.
Okay,
Whether they'll be ready for the 6th remains to be seen. They may be filing another continuance then, we won't know until then.
all right. And then we're just gonna really have to be cognizant of those, the quorum
Yes.
issues with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to, so if we don't get something by next Monday, more than likely, we will be continuing them on November 6th, because the deadline, quote unquote, is supposed to be a week prior to
It
the
is,
meeting,
yes.
any new info.
Yes.
And with, this is such a complex project, I know myself, I want a week to sit down and digest what comes in. So, it would just give us an idea.
All right. Okay.
Question?
Plus, Frank, you're not going to be here,
That's
so...
what we
I'll
were
be
just
here on the
talking-
6th, Richard will be here, I think we've got it, Paul said he's here on the 6th, so we're good for a quorum on the 6th.
But just...
And Jen, you're welcome to question anything there, you just can't
Just can't
vote
vote.
it.
But at the days that we have missing members, if he knew those dates, he wouldn't...
We've already addressed that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Lisa Klein, 675 Chief Justice. The question that I would ask is, does the issue of water and water use fall under your purview too?
No.
It doesn't.
It- Planning.
The planning board hearings for Toll Brothers have a much greater purview. We've met with the planning board, and the reason for our joint meetings is primarily to deal with stormwater.
Yeah.
Although, you know, everybody has the town's interest at heart, we certainly want to look at that. And we have our concerns, but ours were the wetlands protection and pieces on the property for that. But we have met together so that we all understand our concerns. But it's a pretty complex piece with lots of different meetings. And the planning board touches on a much greater number of pieces than we do. All right.
Frank, I don't know if the commission, I'll preface this by just saying, I don't know if the concept would be for a discussion for the 6th or not, given the fact that all we did was submit a letter requesting a continuance. I don't want to upend that, but I'm more than happy to explain to the commission what my thoughts were as to an agenda for the 6th.
Do you think that runs afoul of, I mean, we're continuing this to the 6th. We don't want to have discussion or debate.
Right.
I just want to be sure that we're prepared. I mean, it's complicated, and everybody's got a lot of interest in that, so I just want to be sure the commission has time to evaluate that.
So I think it would be best not to
Yeah.
discuss it.
Okay. All
Could
right.
we get the agenda emailed in the interim?
Yeah, I'll shoot some correspondence to Amy explaining what my thoughts are, and if Amy decides she'd like to share that with the commission.
Okay.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So have we voted that?
Yeah, we did continue it.
I got lost in all the
We did?
discussion.
Well,
No.
I guess we didn't, but I continued it.
What did you continue it to? And then we'll second
That's all
it.
that matters. Penny said it's okay, so, yeah.
Jeff, you puffed up her ego so much that.
I make a motion that we continue the Toll Brothers to November 6th at 6:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Sorry, I didn't share.
You guys on the 6th.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh,
Devane, 19 Dartmouth Street, septic.
yeah.
On October 23rd, 2017, at 7:05 PM, the Town Hall Situate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Situate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Thomas J. and Teresa Devane to repair a septic system on property located at 19 Dartmouth Street, Humrock. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Hello, my name's Tom Devane from 19 Dartmouth Street in Hemrock. And,
You can give those cards to Carol.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a failed septic system, and I'd like to replace it with a Title V system.
Okay. Sure.
Don't like those failed septic systems, especially on the.
I bet he doesn't either.
I know. That is not the place.
Zoomed out.
The town halls.
Oh, okay. So we're here. Right?
Yeah.
It's on the ocean side.
Yeah.
Yeah, messed you up. I mean, the town homes are down here, just to give you an idea. The
Yep.
Dartmouth runs from them to the ocean.
Yeah. Penny, have you had a chance to take a look at that at all?
Yes, I did look at it.
You okay?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, you gotta put the septic in, there's
It's
really.
the typical Humrock, you know,
Not a hell.
the yard's a
lot
few
of
acres
space.
and.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of
Yeah.
options.
No, I don't have any questions.
Richard?
No, but. still
Septic
have
tank's better than a
alternatives.
cesspool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
Paul?
plus.
Nope, you gotta fit what you can.
Lisa?
Nope, it's a positive move.
Jen? Amy, you had a chance to take a look at that?
I did, and I agree with you guys. I don't have much to say. Positive upgrade, barrier beach, land subject to coastal storm flowage, velocity zone, the whole 9 yards, so, yeah, it's not the biggest site, so it would be tight working, I would say, but we're pretty constrained, so go for it.
If you disturb any beach grass and stuff, if you can.
Put it back.
This
Put it
this
back,
property
if you
is
get
pretty
done.
manicured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's
Very
any,
manicured, actually.
whatever you disturb, try and put it back, please.
Anybody in the audience to speak to this one? Be quiet there. Is there any need for any silt, any erosion control, do you think, or is, I haven't been to this site, so is it?
It's pretty level, so I would say no.
Okay.
And it's all beach sand. Beach sand and cobble underneath, yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's fenced in, so the guys aren't,
It's actually, there's a stone, concrete fence, if you will, all the way around it.
okay.
Some of it's about 3 feet high, and some of it's 2 feet high. So,
Everything's staying put.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
referencing as brick wall fence?
yes.
Okay.
It's been there for.
A long
The
time.
brick silt sock.
All right.
So I make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Good luck with your
Okay, thank you.
project. All right, let's prove Paul wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
About what?
you've got a few enforcement you still have to do.
Is this your plan?
Yeah,
No
mine.
idea.
Mayan.
No, mine. Mine.
Spelled Mayan.
Enforcement,
Hey,
Mr. Stanton, are you here for
I
anything?
want the tornado fence?
it's already been done.
We've already,
Oh, it's been done?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Could I get a look at the,
No. Mom, Carol has.
well, tomorrow, yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry, I missed it, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Carol will send
It was
you
early
the-
on. We voted that one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
We had some
Okay.
lapse in our
Oh, all right.
meeting,
Okay,
so we
yeah.
just voted them all along there, but,
Yeah.
okay?
All right, so if I stop in the office tomorrow, be able to get a look at it?
Sure.
Talk to
Carol?
Yep, give Carol a call and,
Carol. Have a call first.
Give you a call? Okay.
all right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to enforcement orders. Where did we leave off?
Payment.
Yep, so we're waiting for a wetland specialist on,
Right, he's going to get the wetland specialist, come up with a planting plan.
okay.
Did you give him a time frame of how long? I mean, he has a track record of, it could be a year from now before he hires a wetland guy.
Infinity.
Yeah, it could, I mean, the track record is not there for doing things in a time like that. It's
true.
You know, that letter actually was drafted by Patrick, so it hasn't been mailed, so we'll make sure it does.
Have a time frame.
Yeah.
Have a date.
That he
A
has to-
measurable
I
date.
mean, because this will just keep going.
Well, he's gotta harvest the pears to pay for the,
I don't know.
I think it began, was it in 95 or 91?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
1795 or 18?
It was the last century when this started.
All right, okay. Glades Lot 2,
Oh, gosh.
it looks like it
I
says
forgot
Pat
about that.
and a letter this week. His notes here are pretty cryptic, but I'd say that's, he's writing a letter, and that's gonna go out this week, is what I'm reading,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And then the next one is Sunset Road.
And
which
they're
I-
coming in next meeting.
They
are?
are coming in November
Well, we'll
6th.
talk
told
about
them-
it then.
Last week, that's what I
We've
wanted.
invited them to the meeting. They've been
Yes,
notified of it. We can discuss it next meeting.
thank you very much. That's
Um,
another one that will go on for
Nine-
20 years.
19 Piggity Beach Road, Board of Health, DEP, Concom, because of the contaminated materials.
I think that one, actually, the client or the applicant is working with an environmental company and they're making progress on the cleanup.
Yeah. They're doing
It's in process.
Okay.
Can I go back to Sunset for a minute? So they're going to be responding to the enforcement order on the next meeting. Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
No, they have been invited to talk about the enforcement order.
Yes.
And they'll,
Are they also going to go back to their original NOI at that time? Or is it just going to be the enforcement?
no, I think we're gonna talk about it next meeting
Okay,
on their plan, because I don't have official word. I mean, I can tell you what I've heard, if you'd like, or we can just wait till they present it.
or we can
But-
talk about it later.
Yeah, we can talk about it later, but.
Okay. Okay,
We have it on our agenda to discuss with them here for the
Okay.
next meeting.
okay, thank
What
you.
number Sunset?
November 6th, it is, it's here, November 6th, Sunset Enforcement Talk. Nothing about the NOI.
Right, and if they don't show at the next meeting, then we can come up with a plan of action.
Well, that's my point,
Yeah.
because,
Right.
because I've got to handle that one, so that's why I'm asking.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, so that's the
You're
point.
going to be out when they come back in.
No.
For the enforcement.
Well,
Sunset.
then we're going to have to discuss that.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Frank, what number Sunset is that?
23?
What's that?
23 Sunset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's,
23
not-
cents.
I mean, that actually is another one to be careful on quorum stuff, because I have to recluse myself. Richard's been chairing that one, just to make sure that there's enough members for that one as well.
Yep.
That might even be tighter than Toll Brothers. So 19 Peggy Beach Road. Oh, we talked about that one. Gilson Road, letter to owner. What's that?
What's on Gilson? What's
What number
This is
Gilson?
the other Russo.
on Gilson?
That's, yeah, I heard this one was convoluted, but I don't know much about it.
Oh, I know what it is. It's down the bottom of Gilson. It's next to the new house.
Is that the one you showed me the other day?
No.
Oh,
This
Bottom
is
of Gilson.
down when you
Near
first
New
come
Driftway?
on off the new driftway.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
the
I know the
marsh,
one
you're
there's
talking
a
about.
house,
Yes, yes.
They call it the beach or something, what do they call it? And then he lives next door and there's all kinds of junk out there.
Yes,
yeah,
That
yes,
he's been asked to remove because it's in the wetlands.
yes.
I know the one now.
Russo's is
Yes.
in the wetlands.
And I think he may have other violations
Oh,
with the
I
town.
wouldn't be at all surprised.
Deadlines.
So what are we doing there?
It just says letter to owner with a question mark.
Oh, okay.
That's why
Is that
Pat,
gonna be you
I guess
or
that's why
Pat?
Pat didn't want to
Pat.
hang around.
So,
Letter
what
to
is
owner
letter
with a
to owner
deadline.
about what?
It-
Would be
About
a
all
notice of
the
violation.
wetlands out back. I mean, the house, the yard actually sits in the wetlands, I would say.
Is that the one on the
Right.
left when you go down, it's on the left?
Well,
If you're coming
Coming off of Kent, it's
Kent,
on the
it's
right.
It's on the right-hand
After
side.
the causeway,
Yeah.
It's right
It's
across.
on the,
from
it's on the
town.
right, Lisa.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
And what number Gilson is this?
I have no idea.
yeah, I'm not sure either.
I don't remember.
It's almost across from Townsend Road.
Right across from
It
town.
You go over a little
New house.
Bridge.
bridge, a drainage area, and then it's on the right before you start up the hill.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All
Right after this lovely house, it was
Yeah, the
rehabbed.
brand new house and
Yeah.
then his house, and if you look.
With a
at
beautiful
down
landscape
driveway,
job.
you'll see. Oh, your son's.
Easy. All right. Atlantic Ave, amend the OOC, so we did that. Central Ave, Duffy. There's a letter,
New letter,
new letter.
Patrick Road.
That's one that's been going on for about 10 years. We
At
have
least
these fun
five.
people.
At least five. But I gotta say, that it's better than it was. It's just not all done yet.
I know, it's been more than fun.
Well, that's how long I've been here, and what's going on
Well,
then.
it started before Pat came.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it started with Jim.
But, I mean, we just keep getting some different violations, and then we send a letter, and then a little bit gets
And then
cleaned
she
up.
does- And then she does something else. I don't know what to do with it.
I think it's she anymore.
Oh, well, whoever, the people that live there.
Well, it's just something we have to dog.
Keep going, that's
Keep
right.
going, yeah, okay.
We know Pat's got plenty of things to do with the time he's allotted every week. And Amy's happy not to. 106, 108 Stockbridge, Spath. I mean, I think that's been moving along pretty good. I was out there a couple of times. That's the old Wheeler Yard. And then it was Mrs. Nielsen.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then it has a
right.
new owner.
Right.
And Pat and I were out there
Are they
once or
cleaned up
twice.
back there?
There was construction equipment, they were grinding stumps, and it like pushed way over beyond it, and they pulled a bunch of those things back, they got markers up. And I think they've done, I mean, I think they're moving forward pretty responsibly to get that one pulled together. I mean, at some point, it might not hurt to get a little update on it, but I think by and large, it's moved in the right
At least
direction.
they're doing something.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot to, it was all organics, but it was a lot to be cleaned up,
Pushed in.
so.
It was pushed too far in
Yeah.
for a long time.
Stockbridge Road. Oh, that's the 40B.
Practically right next door.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like maybe somebody set up shop in there that at some point needs to be checked out and see whether there's any violations or not sure how.
I think that one has already had a letter sent.
Okay.
I mean, I believe that the letter holds up the project,
Yeah,
is as kind of leverage to have something done out there.
right.
At least that's what I've heard from.
Okay. Well, the good news is hopefully someone's going to be filing for something there at some point, and they're going to have to address all these things. And I don't think, there is some wetlands near that, but I don't think there's anything big there to really create a big problem. But
Yeah, I think
certainly worth
it's
keeping an eye on.
filling or stockpiling in the buffer.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
10 Pin Oak Drive, they were supposed to be in here tonight, and looks like they got continued.
Yeah, it got continued.
Yes, it did.
When did that get
And they're gonna roll
continued
the
to?
mitigation into
November
the
6th,
notice.
Okay.
next meeting.
So the next meeting, and they'll have some mitigation? Supposed to, okay.
Plan.
25 Egypt Beach Road. Did we ever get any place with that one? That's next to.
I thought they said that some of it was done, but it still had more to do the last time it came up.
That's another one, you know.
It goes
time
on
is-
forever.
It started last year, this time of the year. They went out back and cleared the thing. Then they left it wide open all winter, and everything was running in this direction, that direction. And they were asked to put up videos. I think they put them up in the spring. Then they were told to replant, and they had a lot of excuses there. Then they did do some replanting, but not enough replanting.
Right.
And that's the last I heard. So it's been, you know, a year to get an area replanted, which should have been done this summer, or this last spring. Now it's getting too late again. I don't know. It's very frustrating.
So what are we gonna do differently so we can kind of stop
Well,
this?
we keep saying we're
Circle
gonna
of
do
madness.
something different, and we're gonna, but it doesn't happen.
Okay, well, maybe we should sit down and decide what we're gonna do and do it.
I mean, Amy, yes, we work with people, but that does not mean a year from now, we still have not got a finished product. I say that's abusive on their side of the point, that they are abusing us. We told them what they have to do, and a year's gone by, and it's not completed.
But we also don't give them dates to be able to measure them. So it's kind of open-ended, and therefore, it's up for their interpretation,
You know, if
ours.
somebody knocked on my door and said, you have to replant this, if you've done, then
Right, but you're,
We'll write you a violation then.
yeah.
You'll be the first one that got done.
No, I agree with you.
The
Ben.
problem is though, most people, like Lisa just said, the monkey's not on their back. Unless you
No,
say, this is the date, and you're gonna get fined after this date,
Right.
there's no
There has to be
urgency. It's like,
consequences.
Well, we've said that quite a few times, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but nothing has happened, and we made that suggestion at meetings.
So let's,
Amy, now it's going to fall on you, but it's not with that. I mean, has to stop. It should have been.
can we
done.
draft something up and sit down with Amy and decide, yes, tweak it, whatever, and then let's vote on it and enforce it?
yeah, we don't even need to draft it. The question is, can you put a deadline and start fining people if they don't comply with the deadline? That's the question.
Working
You
with
don't
people
need a
is one
plan
thing.
or,
We can threaten to fine them, but fining them is actually quite a process. So, and DEP has their enforcement manual, and so we want to stay within the recommended guidelines that they have for enforcement.
Well, I'd like to ask.
And I have a flow chart I can show you of what they recommend, but the first step is a notice of violation.
They got that.
Threatening, what they've done wrong in the statute, and then associating, I agree, we want to throw in a deadline and associate it with a hefty sounding fine, and which can be implemented depending on the severity of the infraction, right? And whether or not they choose to act. So it's definitely, and we have definitely the right to go after it, but you can't win them all, and you have to kind of pick the ones that are most severe.
right, but you can give them all assignments and deadlines
Yes.
with the threat of a fine versus come in, talk to us, yeah, I'll get a
And then
wetlands
they
guy, I'll
continue
get
it,
back
they
to you,
continue it,
and,
they
you know.
disappear and do nothing.
Right, no, well, I think our letter puts it out there what, we have the right to, ask them to comply
A
with.
year later,
Well,
And so maybe that's because we're not giving them a deadline, so.
Right.
I-
We need to
I
give the
agree.
deadline.
Let's give them a deadline, and then the deadline, if you don't, this is
You
gonna
may be
happen.
subject-
Right, just like
to
when we
fine.
continue hearings,
Right.
you're gonna get a wetland scientist, we're gonna see you in
Yeah.
30 days,
Right.
And then we have to do it, we have to act on it.
So Lisa,
It's true, but you have to note that, anything within 100 feet of the BVW is under our jurisdiction. So they could be filling within the 100 is less of a severe infraction than if they're digging in the actual resource area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at some point,
How about if you fill an acre,
if our
fill in an
list is
acre of
this
wetlands?
long, we're gonna have to prioritize.
that's a lot
because-
different than if someone working in the 100-foot.
Right, no, I agree,
Yeah.
but we have an ongoing thing where somebody filled in an acre of wetlands and it's still going on.
But I don't think we're talking as much about what we go after, we're talking about how to handle the ones we go after. When
Right.
it just drags on and months go by and they go, oh, we missed the growing season. We'll talk in the spring and, yeah.
And then it gets
Right,
lost.
so I'll do a little research and see what style of letter, people who get results. So maybe we're just using an ineffective, outdated letter. Maybe it is a little bit too warm and cozy.
So
I don't know.
There isn't follow-up when there should be follow-up.
are we gonna, it's primarily, most of these enforcement, there's a couple I know that you're involved in, but most of these Pat's gonna continue to follow up
Yes.
on. So I'd like to ask Lisa to follow up with Pat.
Fine,
Yeah,
That will be your,
That's your job.
no problem, he gets in
he
my
wasn't,
car.
he wasn't here.
When Lisa gets on them, they're gonna come in and say, how soon can we get this done?
yeah.
I think she's perfect for this.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody tell Pat tomorrow what the new deal is.
You can do it.
Oh, I'll text him.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
I'll email him.
Lisa, please.
All
Lisa,
right.
text her, Pat.
Oh, I
Guess
will.
what?
Good news.
Chief Justice Cushing Highway, the Sunoco station, was anything sent there?
I don't really know what the problem is there. I mean, I go by there and
I think there were some trees that were cut in the back
There
or
were.
something to that effect.
Long time ago, a long time ago.
yeah, I mean,
Is it resource area or is it buffer?
It's resource area.
I'm not sure how much it got looked at, but it probably was worth, maybe that's one, again, we can ask Pat.
Garfield only called about, he said he'd do what he had to do.
Yeah, well, then you just have to tell Scott. Actually, did he sell that? Is there a new owner?
No, I think he still owns it.
He's just
Yeah.
renting it out?
Yep.
Okay. But Scasaloni, I feel, will do what you ask him to do. But if he doesn't get direction, he's not gonna do it.
Well, I think we have to find out if there's a violation or what it is. Right?
I mean, something was going on, but I don't think it was.
Well, somebody's got to go out and take a look and make a
No,
decision.
exactly. Well, I've driven by, but I haven't gotten out of the car. I'm bad.
All right. Well, you and Lisa can work on that one.
Yeah, Frank.
We want to get our access. All right.
Watch it.
The next one, Man Hill, I know that you're involved in that, so where is that one going, Amy?
So that one is in the town council's office with a letter being drafted.
Okay.
Great. Glades, I think that's pretty well done. Ames, the ongoing with Martha Reinhardt, that was some mosquito
yeah.
trenching and stuff, and they were very cooperative.
They
and
were excellent.
find out, but I think I thought that was wrapped up.
I think so, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And Larry with the wetlands wall, thought that got all squared away, so I'm not sure why that's still on the list.
Who?
I have a list with a couple more.
Yeah, I know.
Pondview Ave,
Oh.
but I thought that one got sorted out, and he corrected.
See, prioritize. They all can't be top dog, but
Right.
some are clearly worse than others.
Well,
You
maybe
know.
that's the thing, Lisa, why don't,
He came in and he was gonna work with us.
Why don't we set up, as part of this Excel spreadsheet, why not have the location of the, thank you, of the problem, whether it's, within the 50, within the 100, whether it's.
Oh, good
BBW,
idea. Yeah.
And make it a priority that way. And then if we set it up like a tickler file, this is, so we have a point of reference of a date of the initial infraction, and then we'll know.
I know.
And if there's been like 9 enforcement or letters sent, like, yeah, okay.
Well, so
But you're
honestly,
aware.
since I've been here, I think we've been trying to, refine our approach. You know what I mean? So not everybody gets a heavy hand right away because, like, for instance, the guy that has his dock in the marsh might get a lighter touch, like, please move it.
Right.
And then if he doesn't move it, then.
versus
you
someone
know,
with a backhoe stuck in the middle of the
Yeah,
river.
versus somebody with a backhoe in the river that's dredging or.
What do you think about Halloween decorations in the marsh? Giant.
You mean the blow-up balloons? I think that's probably a big deal,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that one. All right. But I think
that's a good idea,
getting some prioritizing, a deadline, and a little bit more
Yeah.
information on the sheet is
Good
good.
idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I would
It took
like,
you all this time to come up with that?
I would like a weekly update on the enforcement, so we can look, and we have a top-of-mind awareness, and we can look at it and just say, okay, have we made any progress?
Well, I don't want someone wasting a lot of time every week trying to put that together. I'd be satisfied.
Well, Frank, it's not a lot of work. You already have it in the system. You just put an update if something has an update. It's like
Lisa, do it.
just a notation.
Do it.
Yeah.
I
Lisa,
can't do
you just took the
computer stuff.
assignment.
That's
I would
fine.
like to just bring up something that has nothing to do with Concom, but it's a very positive note. Sunday was the official opening of the North Scituate Playground, which was a playground back when the WPA building was built. It was a playground I played on, my kids played on, and then the T came in. The grand opening, huge success, millions of kids, parents. Today, starting at 9 o'clock, First, there were 3 sets of parents and kids. By the time I left, there had to be 50 sets of parents and kids down there. It
Wow.
is a beehive. I mean, and I'm talking elementary school to little ones, really
That's
little.
nice.
Awesome.
It is fabulous. I mean, I can't tell you, it just, I look out my kitchen window, and there's nothing better than seeing kids playing. In the zip line, oh my God, that is the favorite. I mean, even little ones they're hanging on for dear life, but they're flying down.
Well, Penny
Have
did
they
have to
kicked
do
you-
with us. They did have to come to
Have they kicked you out when it's
us.
supposed to
that's
close?
true. Pardon?
Have they kicked you out there yet?
I know, I want to try it.
Yes. Well, to be honest with you, I tried everything out. When they were
Kids were yelling, "You're too big, get off
No, when
this."
they were construction, the construction guys tried everything out too.
She's
You know.
grandfathered, she
Well,
was
we had
there
to
as a
make
child.
sure, everything. But just a positive note.
Thank you.
It is so wonderful to see a community come together like that.
Nice.
And lots of fathers with their kids.
That's
It's a
nice to
different
see.
day.
Because
Yeah.
all their mums are on these boards now.
I guess so.
Actually, you guys are outnumbered, because there's
I-
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
is it
it's
3?
Arrow.
5. I'm sorry, Carol. Oh. Mind your P's and Q's.
Are we supposed to be worried?
Do we have anything else that we want to discuss tonight?
No.
What about the minutes?
Oh, yes, the minutes, I'm sorry.
Oh, what is-
Carol.
Penny.
I'm bad, I'm slipping. I make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 21st as written.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
So looking for.
I
There
make
they
a
are.
motion, we accept the minutes of August 16th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They're right here.